Hey, Purpose Peeps. Hey, Purpose Peeps. This is Dina, your sister in purpose. And I am thrilled today to give you some more insight in terms of why I am so super excited about our breaking news. So, our breaking news is like fabulous because this is the first time that our Purpose Peep community has been granted access to both the art and the science of purpose. So many of you are familiar with my programs and my books that talk about what I call the art of science. Of purpose, rather, of unlocking the keys to your success. I'm just going to go over to my classroom really quickly. Um, so I have these programs that are like all about the unlocking experience and unlocking the keys to your success and just kind of what that means for you um, in your life in terms of what type of knowledge, insight, understanding can you glean from really unlocking and unpacking your life, right? So here's the front screen to just getting into the classroom. So if you look at the class curriculum, there are all these different activities that lead you from having this internal experience and really kind of understanding what makes you tick. And all of that is kind of like ground zero for the unlocking experience. And then you move into leveraging what you unlock during these exercises to really defining your keys to success and then using them to really create your own definition for success and really understanding like what your driving motivators are and then coming to like what action do you have to take to be able to shift gears and to really start nailing it in terms of what you understand now about your purpose from a deeply internal process, which I call like the art of purpose. But then we get into some results because guess what, Purpose Peeps? Like I said, I'm your sister in purpose, but I'm also a resultant. And what that means is I can't be satisfied with just us having these divine spark and aha moments. I really want us to like get geared up around success and what that really means for us and what we have to do to really start achieving and lining up for those results that matter. And that's what it's all about. So now, when I got the certification through Imperative, ta-da! Now we have access to the science of purpose and just some of the best research and application that's out there. I mean, this is like cutting edge, innovative stuff. Okay, there's nothing else like this. All right, and we have access to it. So if any of you have been on my YouTube channel, A Life of Purpose, or if any of you have been on my webpage, www.dinawiggins.com, or if you're on the Facebook community at Dina for Your Purpose, everybody has got some different type of introduction to my path to purpose journey. And Imperative was really key on that journey because when the purpose economy, which is the book that really explains how we are really moving toward the next generation in our economy being driven by purpose, being driven by purpose peeps like you and me, spark purpose peeps, yay, that are unlocked and are really looking at how we can live our life of purpose and live out our value and meaning in what we do. So Imperative really focuses on the what we do. So if you've read my books, I talk about a process of knowing. So knowing about your purpose to kind of being with it before the doing. So this is all about like the doing. And what really thrills me is that this is research driven. This is based on psychological research. So it really delves into the how we tick. And we are hardwired, my friends, we're hardwired purpose peeps to live lives of purpose, right? So we produce oxytocin, the love hormone, not only when we are with those that we love, other purpose peeps that we love, but also doing the things that we love, right? So let me just give you a quick run through about the imperative purpose profile. So what happens is that when you take the purpose profile, you'll receive an email that's coming from Imperative. It'll have, something so you know it's coming from me, but it'll be coming from imperative.com because now you have access into this platform where Purpose Peeps across the world have also taken this assessment and been able to really unlock and impact their lives. So now you have access. Okay, so you get a survey link. You spend like 10 minutes to take a survey. So how easy is that? 10 minutes, ask you a couple of questions, and then you get a report. So this is the online. This is the online app. Okay, after you receive your after you receive after you complete rather after you receive the link and you complete your assessment, you'll have immediate access to this PDF, which is your personal purpose profile. Okay, and the thing about Imperative is like they focus on the who, the why, and the how of purpose. So and it'll give you like a summary of your purpose profile. It'll tell you like how you arrive at the most meaning in your life. So do you arrive at the most meaning of working with organizations, working with individuals, working with at the societal level where and this is all about impact. So do you receive more value and meaning and impact when you are doing that one-on-one work, when you're working with one-to-many like me? This is actually my report. Okay, so it'll show you how I'm really driven by working with the one-to-many kind of ratio. And it'll talk about like what's your real why driver, like what really is pushing you and propelling you to keep it moving and keep going. So are you harmony driven? Are you driven to ensure that everyone has access? Or are you more karma driven? Do you really want to make sure that um, um, you're in it to win it? So the part of it is working through the challenge to get to your results that matter. And then your how, or like what's your superpower? So at the end of the day, there are 4 different areas in this assessment. And so mine is community. So bringing people together to build engagement and ownership. Does that sound like the Purpose Peak community? So yeah, so it's just fantastic. So you get this report, and the report is like, oh my gosh, I think it's like 27 pages, 30 pages. It's all this goodness in here to really kind of unpack. So when we meet after you take the assessment, this is where we really can kind of dig in and unpack this thing so that you can not only understand yourself, but you also understand other purpose peeps. This is why this is so fantastic, because it's not just about us, it's about understanding us and how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to other people. Because Purpose Peeps, raise your hand, hit like, let me know if you can relate to, okay, no matter what your vision is for your fulfilled life, your future picture, it requires you to be able to work with other people, right? And so the more that you can understand what makes you tick when you're thinking about executing, when you're actually thinking about bringing something into fruition, the more that we can work and we can leverage what we understand about ourselves and other people as well. So this is your report, but I want to go back to the online app, because what's really cool about this is that, wow, you really have this tool, and then you have this online ongoing support outside of what you and I will unlock together and how we'll leverage this understanding together. But you have access to just this amazing, amazing app online that can really support you in the short term in terms of understanding what you just found out, but then also some activities and what you can do to move it forward. And I just want to go back to the Unlock the Keys to Your Success classroom, just so you can see the synergy here. So when we're talking about unlocking perceptions, You have activities around unlocking the perceptions, both with the art of purpose, which is kind of like over here in my curriculum, as well as, with the science of purpose over here in the imperative curriculum. So when you first log in, you'll see, right, where you can download your report, and you'll also see your purpose statement, which is kind of over here. Now, this is my purpose statement after I've done some unlocking. So you'll receive a purpose statement that's more kind of generic to all the purpose peeps that have your particular purpose profile. And this is really cool too, because it allows you to see kind of what you stand for, just behind the science behind what's behind this profile. Okay, and this is really important because if you go back over here to the classroom, when we go through the exercise of unlocking your story, and for each one of these exercises, you have a video. I'll come on and lay some foundation, and then you also have an exercise to complete. But one of the things that comes out of that exercise is really understanding what you will take a stand for and how you got there. And so now you have, based on this survey instrument, some more information about, what you stand for from a psychological perspective. And it's really, really fascinating to see how aligned they are, but how you have a different breadth of understanding what makes you tick through the combination of coming in the door in two different doors around purpose. And then here you stand in the middle on a really strong foundation. So let's go into the overview of what's available to you through the report and through the app. So again, here we just talk about here's your purpose archetype, if you will. So mine is the equalizer, and my purpose statement, which you will work together so that you can craft one that speaks to your words. And let me show you how aligned this is. I just have to go back and forth so you can get just how juicy this is. So we have an exercise called gathering your keys. And when you gather your keys to success, I'm really about not just kind of understanding the different keys that were kind of honed through your life experiences, but for you to be able to put those in your own words and in your own languaging. And why is that? Because when it's personal to us, the more personal that it is, and the more that we have this personal relationship with it, guess what? It's easier for us to have intentional practice. And if you think about what Malcolm Gladwell teaches us so well about intentional practice, is that it takes 10,000 logged in hours to move from practice into mastery. And you really want to master your keys to success because they were given to you, and you had these experiences around them so that you can cultivate them, so that you can ultimately leverage them and use them on your path to purpose and for your results that matter. So it's really important that when we have these experiences that we're able to translate them into words that are meaningful for us. So my purpose statement says, I help organizations become lighthouses filled with spark purpose peeps who stand strong and shine solutions throughout the marketplace, no matter the weather or seas of change. So I went through an exercise to be able to do that. So you'll have access to, as we work together, to unpacking more about this through the purpose statement exercises that are available to you, that'll ask you some questions to kind of open you up and unlock you. But purpose peeps, because you've already gone through the unlocking experience over here, guess what? When you get into this exercise and you all this is about unlocking. So when you get into that exercise, you have already shifted and understand so much stuff about yourself that when you get over here, oh my gosh, it's like golden. It just like kind of re-emphasizes and opens you up by opening to another lens. Okay. So I don't want to go down there yet. Let's just go into unpacking the report. So we talked about your purpose drivers, right? And so the imperative research and survey instrument is going to ask you questions that help you to understand who you seek to impact, why you are driven for your results that matter, and then your how. So, how you like, what is your superpower? So imagine this. Imagine that you are Superman, Superwoman in your own right, and imagine that you're going into a telephone booth and you're changing into this costume, and when you come out, you're going to be like this superhero in your own right. So when you're talking about your how driver, or how you arrive at value and meaning, this is just saying, like, what superpower do you put to work? Of all the things that you have available in your toolkit, like, what's your go-to for solving problems and leveraging, opportunities? And there are different, profiles around that. So it will let you know, like, what's your combination, and your combination is your profile, right? And so my combination of seeking to impact teams and organizations, wanting to level the playing field and make, for me, making purpose accessible to all of us. And it already is accessible to all of us, but my job is to unlock it and to help you to, change your perspective and your view, and to understand and to leverage what is available to you, because purpose is available to all of us. And, the way that I would go about doing that is to build community, because I feel that if we can, work together, we can unlock and we can solve our problems and leverage opportunities in a great way. And I call that great way galvanized results. So when you get this report, it'll break that down for you. And here's something that I really, really love. So if you really like, what does this mean? You'll have some ideas about how you find purpose. And you also have some ideas around your potential biases based on your purpose profile. And this, my friends, is like really, really important. And we will unpack this together. But I just want you to have an understanding of what's available to you. And then these purpose power-ups, these are ways that you can enhance what you understand about your purpose. And this is really important. And the reason why it's so important is because there are 3 areas of importance. And when you are thinking about living your and making intended practice and action toward your results that matter, there are 3 areas you need to focus on. You ready? They are relationships, impact, and growth. Relationships, impact, and growth. And so if we come over here, and this is just like so cool, I just want to show you this real quick. Wait a minute, wrong one. I want to show you this really quickly. Okay. So the first thing you're going to see on my website is this: growth, make an impact, realize your purpose. And so these were my kind of like pillars, and they are so closely aligned with the pillars around how we reach fulfillment. Okay. And we reach fulfillment by focusing on our relationships, our impact, and our growth. And now I want you to see one of the great features in the online app. So if you scroll down from the first page to activating purpose, here you can select like a 90-day focus. So we want these short-term, intervals when we're thinking about doing something different and creating new purpose habits. Because we want to take bite-sized chunks. Because what will happen is that as you increase in your self-awareness, and kind of understand what it's going to take to live your spark purpose life, what it's going to take for you to be on the path of fulfillment, rather than doing all the things that people have described as, and that we think are all the things that we need to do to be successful. Excuse me. And then we do all these things, and then we're up at night having these questions, having these like ahas, like, what's going on? Because I'm doing all the things, but I'm not reaching fulfillment. And guess what? It's like 2/3 of us purpose peeps, 2/3 of us working purpose peeps are identified as being unfulfilled at work. This is part of the imperative research, guys, that you really have to check out. If you go to my page on my website, dinawiggins.com, go to Purpose Me. There's a link that'll take you to some of the wonderful research provided by Imperative, with some phenomenal partners that are pioneers in the area of work, how we engage, Just some really good stuff there, guys. And so that's 2/3 of us. So if you look to the left, you look to the right, two of us are having some really big questions and some, disconnect. But for me, I look at it as the cup is half full. And so we have opportunities to crack the code on fulfillment and do some things differently. So if we click on, oh, by the way, you can have some insights about your purpose profile. So for my purpose profile of being the purpose equalizer, there are 9% of purpose peeps that are in the platform that share my purpose type. So isn't that cool beans? And so if you really want to take a look at like, what would my purpose look like if, I had made a different change? Like, what would that look like? And, hold on. See, look at this. So at one change, just focusing on the individual versus the organization, and I become a different purpose archetype. I become the connector who builds networks that empower people to overcome barriers. So do you see how much more personable that is versus mine, which is the organizational view? So when you think about our relationships and how we relate to people, that we share the same desired outcome, but we just have differences in going about them. This instrument and just kind of playing with it a little bit can help you to understand how you're relating to others while achieving results that matter. So you can kind of leverage the different perspectives. And so it doesn't make it like a right or wrong, but it just helps you to understand like who's in the room, like who are my purpose peeps that I'm working with to bring this thing to fruition, whatever that is. So it's like amazing, amazing. So let's go into make purpose a habit. So when we go here, we can click on that, or you could have clicked up here. And what do you think RIG stands for? What do you think that is? So yeah, if you said relationships, impact, and growth, you're absolutely right. And so here's where we can start to do like a weekly assessment. We can take stock. So I did mine 4 days ago. So this will ask you about those 3 areas that we talked about is really important for fulfillment, which are meaningful relationships, meaningful impact, and meaningful growth. So not just even listen to this, not just even having these things in our life, but the intention, meaningful. That's taking it to another level. So you can assess like where you are. Are you in a place of reflection? Are you in a place where you can improve? If you're knocking it out the box in that area, what can you do to maintain that? You can look at your stats for the current time period. For over time, you'll have. Oh, by the way, Purpose Peeps, you have access to the Imperative app and having this virtual purpose coach for a year. Okay. So then you can go in and you can say, based on how you assess yourself, it'll in the different areas of focus that you wanted from the beginning. You can go in and you can say, well, here are some things that I need to focus on. And here's what I'm going to focus on for the week. And then you have, it'll time you out. And then you have the week to complete that and then come back and, kind of share your results. How did that work for me? And give yourself some feedback about, did that really help me to, open more fully into fulfillment, more fully into, having more fulfillment in what I'm doing when I'm at work. Okay. And so that's just fabulous. So if I click on results, I can come back to the first page. So we didn't talk about leadership. So your purpose profile, in your purpose profile, let me go back. In the purpose profile, you have those 3 areas, but then you also have, let me go back to the driver. Sorry about that. You also have like your dominant driver. And so what that means is that from all the questions that you responded to in the survey, there's one area that's like your dominant driver. So most of your answers kind of ended up in this bucket. So this is the thing that I lead from. So this is my complete these are the components of my profile. But here's what really drives me, what really lights my buttons is that community aspect. And because that's the driver that really sparks me the most, it's going to correlate to my leadership style. So because my dominant driver is in the how area, that makes me a craft driven leader. And so as a craft driven leader, I'm going to have different things in my leadership style from a purpose perspective that are going to really like drive how I go about making sure that that I am leading purpose in whatever activities that I'm responsible for, or wherever my areas of influence are. And this is really, really important because this also will tell you like where you excel based on that leadership style and where you may struggle. So in terms of your leadership development, this is a great tool to include in your personal effectiveness plan. This is a great tool to use in your professional development and in your if you are in a mastermind, or if you are doing some effectiveness coaching, or just however you're really trying to up your game in terms of your leadership, this is a great, great tool to be able to do that. And then there's a quick video here that will kind of describe what your leadership style is based on. Let me just let it talk for a little bit. So this is generic to all of us purpose peeps. So this is different from my leadership style. Okay, so this is just a part of the the coaching that's available to you to really help you to unlock and unpack. So this is why I'm absolutely thrilled, because all of this information can really help you to craft a plan that really looks at how you're going to leverage purpose at work. So if you go back over here to the unlocking, and so here we move from just this understanding and alignment about, who we are and how we tick. And this is the personal program, guys. There's a whole nother program and experience for purpose at work that would be focused on how you show up at work, and as well as working with your team. So it can be an individual or team experience. And there's also a component of imperative that's available too. If you go on my website, www.dinawiggins.com/purpose-me, you can see some of the examples of the team experience. I don't want to go into this because this is going to show some of the teams that I'm working with, and we don't want to do that. But Imperative was generous enough to kind of show some of their data with their employees, just so you can get an understanding about what that can unlock for you and your team. But back to this personal journey. So you're moving from this kind of understanding and unpacking and unlocking, and kind of going through your stuff, right? Going through your suitcases and just pulling out just those critical things that we're going to take forward, blessing everything else, turning them into your keys for success. And then here's where you start to leverage. And so based on this understanding, you can create your own definition and picture of success with your strong why. So look at this component from this deeply personal experience, and then you couple that with what you understand about your why from your driver perspective. So you have this like yin and yang, around purpose. And it's just like amazing, because the more that we can understand and align, the more effective we are when we are actually taking inspired action toward our results that matter. So now, this all has to do with you starting to make some decisions right here in the shift to results. And these are the different decision points around, what's it going to take for me to really live out what I've unlocked here. So, you have changed your perspective, you changed your view. So what is it going to require? And then in the last phase, okay, actually, let me go here. Let me go here, because you can take a look at, okay, what's going on here? Okay, so I'm sorry guys, I can't get into my plan right now, but I was going to show you that you have a comprehensive plan around your results that matter. Okay, and so you can add what you've learned in here um, in your purpose profile to that, so that you're not just looking at what are going to be your stop, start, continues as it relates to what you understand about just how to be more centered and more grounded in your purpose and your definition for success. But now you're also beginning to leverage out, like, what's going to be next. So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of include that in your, I think I'm hung up here, in your kind of what's next. Um, because you can take this plan, which is like a 60-day plan, and then you can say, okay, now that I'm more grounded in what I just understand about myself, now I'm ready to take some action here. Okay, now I'm ready to take some action here and to go into, oh, here's my plan. Now it shows up. Thank you. Wow, this is great. Okay, not sure what's going on here, but you can incorporate kind of like both the thing, all of this stuff that you're learning about yourself into some really tangible action steps for your results. So that's what has me just like absolutely thrilled. So just to kind of recap, so we have some two different lenses, two different angles that we can kind of come in with the purpose. So we have the science of purpose, and we have what I call the art of purpose, and where they can kind of meet. And if you think about, hey, you're in the middle, meet in the middle, you're in the middle. So you're getting the benefit of coming through these two different doors for purpose. No right, no wrong, just different. And they complement one another nicely. And that's what I was trying to show during this kind of walkthrough. They complement each other quite nicely. And it's for you. It's for you. And it's all about you kind of understanding, like, kind of all the stars in the system. Like, who are you? And if all the things that you could be doing in the world, like, what are going to be the things that are going to kind of feed this purpose profile? How do we just engage in producing that wonderful oxytocin that makes us feel valued? It makes us feel belonged. It lights our buttons. It sparked us. We are wired to do that. We are created to have those type of experiences. Now you really understand the science behind it, and you understand the art behind it, like, because life has been kind of moving you in that direction and cultivating some things in you that you're going to be able to leverage as you live out your your purpose profile, as you live out and you move toward your definition for success, as you move toward really being intentional about those keys to success that really serve you along your path to purpose, because it's a journey, my friends. And as we kind of walk this thing out, we purpose is going to unfold for us. But we can kind of embrace the way that it's unfolding the more that we understand how we tick. And so that's why I'm absolutely thrilled to share this with you. I'm absolutely ecstatic that we have some really strong support. And why is that so important now? Because as Imperative, and through its book, The Purpose Economy, has shared with us so brilliantly with some of the greatest sparked purpose peeps on the planet, we are moving toward that purpose economy. And now we have some really strong support to support our transition to align with this movement, and just to really, really engage in our sparked life. So that's what it's about, my friends. If you want to know more, go to bit.ly/unlock the keys to your success. Why is that? Because all of the purpose peeps that are enrolled in my online purpose programs will also get access at an individual level to your purpose profile through Imperative. If you want to just engage in just the purpose profile component, and you want to just walk through the door of the science of purpose, you can do that too. Go to www.dinawiggins.com/purpose-me. I strongly suggest that you do both, because the unlocking is so complementary to um, imperative experience. But here's the deal. So the imperative experience starts with you taking the purpose survey. So if you go to bit.ly/purpose me, I will ask you some questions that have to do with unlocking. And if you can answer yes to those questions, then go right into the science of purpose. But here's the deal. So the person let me ask you a question. Is the person that's answering these questions in this 10-minute survey that have access to all this goodness with the output of that, is that person like really clear on his or her definition for success? Like, are you really, really clear on that? Are you clear on um or have you gone through some unlocking experiences where you're no longer stuck? So you're no longer kind of attached to someone else's definition for success. You're kind of unlocked and kind of, have had those huge aha, transformative, a Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Scrooge type of like aha, introspective moments where you kind of move out of your story and you gain the things that take you onto your platform and you're clear, like that area I showed you in at the beginning of your online imperative app, which says, what do you stand for? So like, are you clear about how your experiences have shaped and cultivated what you stand for, what you have a strong yes for, what you have a strong I will not tolerate for? Like, do you understand that? So that person that, kind of has that level of clarity around themselves, go check out those questions. It's like, okay, let me take it to the next level about how I can leverage this understanding at work. If you haven't, okay, great. Go engage in one of the unlocking programs and get that purpose profile so that as soon as you come out of the unlocking experience, you're going right into the purpose profile experience. And when you're answering those questions, you're asking them from the level of clarity that you have after completing all of these different exercises that are intended for you to unlock your clarity in your life. So that's what this is about. That's what you have access to, and I'm absolutely thrilled. Any questions, hit me up at info@dinawiggins.com. And don't just be excited, don't just get sparked like I am, purpose peeps. Let's take some action. Let's take an inspired action step and let's get started.